Welcome to the AZ-900 Azure Fundamentals Certification course. If you are preparing to take the AZ-900 exam soon or just want to learn more about Azure, then this course is for you. This is not just another boring course you have to sit through for hours. I've made sure this course is not only engaging, but very straight to the point. There are no fluffs. I've condensed this course into liquid gold knowledge on the Azure concepts you absolutely need to know to easily succeed either in the exam or your career. So what is the AZ-900 Microsoft Fundamentals exam? The Azure Fundamentals exam tests your foundational level knowledge of cloud services and how those services are provided to you within Microsoft Azure. It covers all the basics you need to understand what cloud computing is, how Azure implements it, and how you can leverage these powerful services. Now, you might be a candidate for this exam if you either have a non-technical background, perhaps you're in sales, marketing, or business operations, or you have a technical background and you're looking to move on up the chain to future certifications, either as an administrator or as a developer, eventually into the architect position, etc. Many IT professionals use this certification as their first stepping stone into a broader Azure certification path. So this is a good foundational level course that's going to teach you the basics of Azure, whether you come from a techie background or not, or you come from a business background. You don't need any prior cloud experience to be successful with this course and exam. The Microsoft Azure Fundamentals exam, AZ-900, has three main objectives. Number one is to describe cloud concepts. This covers about 25 to 30% of the exam. Number two is to describe Azure architecture and services. This is the largest portion at about 35 to 40% of the exam. And the third objective is talking about the Azure management and governance requirements, covering about 30 to 35% of the exam. If you take this course, you will be prepared to take and pass the AZ-900 exam. I've designed this curriculum specifically to align with Microsoft's exam objectives. Now, you don't have to take the exam. Taking the exam is optional, but you can still watch this course from end to end, and it'll give you a solid foundation in overall cloud concepts and specifically Microsoft Azure. The knowledge you gain will be valuable regardless of whether you pursue certification. Now, I want to start the course by talking about the cloud itself. You've heard this term. It's sort of a buzzword that's been floating around the tech industry for over a decade now. What is the cloud? What does it actually mean? Well, it has absolutely nothing to do with those fluffy things in the sky. It's simply a way to access computing power that belongs to someone else. Think of it like electricity. A century ago, factories had to generate their own power. Today, you just plug into the grid and pay for what you use. Cloud computing is the same revolution, but for computing resources. When you use cloud services, you're tapping into a vast network of computers managed by others. For instance, Microsoft Azure has invested billions in building data centers, laying fiber optic cables around the world, launching satellites, and establishing a global infrastructure that you can use without needing to own any of that hardware yourself. These data centers are massive facilities filled with servers, networking equipment, storage systems, and all the physical infrastructure needed to run cloud services. Microsoft has regions all over the world: North America, Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, giving you global reach with just a few clicks. But what is it that makes cloud computing so special? Surely you've heard over the years about people moving to the cloud or wanting to move to the cloud. What is that? Why is everyone so excited about it? Well, the special sauce is really the ability to rent computing resources on demand. So if you get this idea in an afternoon that you want to try something, you can go into Microsoft Azure Portal or AWS or Google Cloud. You can provision yourself some computer resources. Use those resources, test out your idea, and shut everything down by the end of the day, and you will actually only pay a few cents for that. Think about how revolutionary this is compared to the traditional IT model. In the past, if a company wanted to launch a new application or service, they would need to purchase physical servers, networking equipment, storage arrays, possibly rent space in a data center, hire staff to maintain it all, and commit to these resources for years. The capital expenditure was enormous, and the lead time could be months. With the cloud, you can spin up the same resources in minutes with no upfront commitment and pay only for what you use. This completely transforms the economics of IT and allows for unprecedented agility and innovation. And so the ability to rent computing on demand is really what sets the cloud apart from other types of hosting or on-premises services. It's what makes the cloud such a game changer for businesses of all sizes. When I say computing resources, being able to rent computing resources, we're not just talking about your traditional servers, although those are there as well, Windows and Linux servers available. We're talking about unlimited file storage or virtually unlimited because you'll never be able to fill it. You've got all sorts of databases from many different vendors, SQL Server, MySQL, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, and more. You've got communication platforms such as events and queues for building robust distributed applications. You have systems to help you deliver your applications all around the world, including Azure Front Door and content delivery networks that ensure your users get fast access no matter where they are. You've got batch processing jobs for handling intensive computational workloads. There are literally 1,000 different Azure services if you go into the Azure Marketplace. Microsoft not only offers their own services, but has partnerships with hundreds of software vendors to make their solutions available directly in Azure. And so you've got a wide variety of things available to you. This also sets it apart from traditional hosting platforms. Just the variety of services, including AI and machine learning capabilities, that would be impossible for most organizations to build and maintain themselves. Azure provides pre-built AI services like Azure AI Foundry, Azure OpenAI, AI Vision, natural language processing, and predictive analytics that you can incorporate into your applications with minimal effort. Before we learn more about cloud solutions in Microsoft Azure, let's learn more about this exam itself. If you enter the term AZ-900 into your favorite search engine, you're going to find the official landing page on the Microsoft Learn website for this exam. It's going to explain to you all of the who the audience is intended for, what the requirements of the exam are, how to book the exam, etc. This is going to be your homepage for understanding what the exam is about from the official Microsoft source. It's always good to get familiar with Microsoft's official exam pages because they provide the authoritative information about certification requirements. This exam is going to be talking more about cloud concepts, Azure services, Azure workloads, security and privacy in Azure, as well as pricing and support. These are some basic concepts that form the foundation of your Azure knowledge. The exam doesn't go extremely deep into any one topic, but covers a broad range of Azure fundamentals. I would suggest you come to this page and check it out before you get too down your journey. Familiarize yourself with the official exam description so you know exactly what to expect. Now, one of the most important pieces of data on this page is this date. This date indicates when the exam was last updated or will be updated. Just before you're ready to go and take this exam, you should probably go and check to see if anything has changed. While this course is 100% up to date right now, April 2025, when you're watching this, there might be a little update. Now, 90% of the updates are very minor updates that will not change much, but there are times when a new major service gets released. For example, we have a lot of new AI services now due to the recent boom in AI technology. So for things like that, just keep an eye out on this page. But like I said, these are very rare and would not drastically change the entire exam. This topics covered in this course is still going to be most of what you will see in the exam. If scroll down a little bit more, we can see all of the language that this exam is offered in. If English is not your first language, you can certainly choose to take the exam in another language. Microsoft offers the exam in a wide variety of languages to make it accessible to people around the world. This exam is generally $99. It's one of the cheaper exams, or it's also priced based on your local currency, so it could be $69 in Singapore. Microsoft occasionally runs promotions where you can take the exam at a discounted rate or even for free, so keep an eye out for those opportunities. The exam itself, once you pass, you get the Microsoft Certified Azure Fundamental Certification, which is for life. It never expires and it never needs to be renewed. It's a one-time thing, unlike other Microsoft exams, which typically require renewal every 1 to 2 years. This makes it a great value and a permanent addition to your resume. If you're ready to book the exam, you come to this page and you click on the Schedule with Pearson VUE button that will take you to the separate website to go through the process of booking your exam. Pearson VUE is Microsoft's exam delivery partner, and they handle all the logistics of scheduling and proctoring the exams. Of course, you can take it in person at the exam center, or you can take it online. The online option became particularly popular during the pandemic and remains a convenient choice for many candidates. Just be aware that the online option does have specific technical requirements and environmental conditions that you'll need to meet. This exam AZ-900 study guide is really going to give you all the details, and so we'll skip to that. Here is the skills for this exam. As we can see that there are three major objectives for this exam. Objective number one is describe cloud concepts. It's 25 to 30% of the overall score. This covers the fundamental principles of cloud computing, including benefits, service types, and deployment models. Objective number two is describe Azure architecture and services, 35 to 40%. This is the meat of the exam, covering the core Azure services, products, and how they fit together. And objective number three is describe Azure management governance, covering the remaining 30 to 35%. This focuses on how you manage and govern Azure resources, including security, compliance, and cost management. This course is structured pretty much to follow this objective document section by section. We started off by talking about cloud computing already, but in the next section, we'll start off with a shared responsibility model, and we'll get into cloud models and into consumption-based pricing and other pricing models. The shared responsibility model is particularly important to understand because it delineates what Microsoft is responsible for and what you as the customer are responsible for. This varies depending on whether you're using infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or software as a service. And understanding these distinctions is crucial for properly securing and managing your Azure resources. If you visit this page, this will be basically your study guide for going through this course and obviously taking and passing the exam. I recommend referring to this page often as we progress through the course to ensure you're covering all the required topics. You're going to find a section for each of these subsections in this course and on multiple videos on some of these topics and at least one video on each of these topics. I've ensured that every exam objective is thoroughly covered so you can be confident that you're getting all the information you need to succeed. That is basically the requirements of this exam. I'm so excited to have you here. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment below and I'll be there answering your questions. And if you find this course helpful, please like and share with your friends so that we can continue to make these free courses for you here on YouTube. Thank you and see you in the next video.